Shalom Chavrim, I'm Stephen Ben-Nun. You're watching Israeli News Live. Very interesting order just came out today, only moments ago. Defense Minister Yalon of Israel has actually signed an order that outlaws the Temple Mount Screamers, as Israel National News is reporting here. And I wanted to share this with you. We'll share this on our Israeli News Live Facebook page as well. It says Defense Minister Moshe Yalon signed an order Wednesday declaring the group's Islamists who regularly harass Jews on the Temple Mount, the male Murabatim and the female Murabatat, as illegal organizations. The activists regularly riot on the Mount, curse, shout, and throw various objects at the Jews who ascend the Mount and sometimes attack police as well. Yalon signed the order upon the recommendation of the Israeli Security Agency and the Israel Police after he became convinced that it was necessary for preserving the public peace and security of the nation. The activity of the Murabitum and the Murabitat is a central element in creating the tension and violence on the Temple Mount in particular and in Jerusalem in general, said the statement issued by Yalon's bureau. This is dangerous and inciting activity against tourists, visitors, and worshippers at the site that lead to violence and could cause loss of life. The declaration was signed after it received the approval of an attorney general, and it means that anyone participating in Murabitan and Murabitat activities, organizing or funding it, is carrying out a crime and is likely to face prosecution. Minister of the Internal Security Gilead Erdogan sent Yalon a letter last month asking him to urgently declare the Arab organizations that create mayhem on the Temple Mount as illegal, and so that security forces will have a freer hand against the rioters. You know, not too long ago we had shared with you guys how that these particular groups here had actually attacked the police. And the police were basically, it seems that their hands are tied in almost every direction imaginable, and has made this very much a very serious situation in being able for the Jewish people to do anything about it whatsoever. And another interesting thing that we have actually been witnessing ourselves here recently, and I wanted to share this with you guys, is that here in Europe, where we are right now in East Europe, and by the way, we will be going into Israel very soon, and I wanted to remind you guys of that as well. Kellen, who is the sponsor of the anti-Semitic conference to fight anti-Semitism, which is reconciliationwithisrael.com, he still definitely needs your support. Him and his wife have hosted a tremendous undertaking there to unify the Christian and Jewish communities and to show the Jewish community that there are many Christians that stand with Israel. Many people will be speaking there, including Avi Lipkin as being one of those, my wife, myself, and many other well-known Orthodox speakers as well, Orthodox Jews, as well as other Christians and Messianic believers that will be speaking in this meeting unified together. So please do be a part of that. Support that. I have a copy of the, I'll put a copy of the link to his website in the comment section as well. It is reconciliationwithisrael.com, www.reconciliationwithisrael.com. But what I was going to mention to you, though, very serious news situation that we're seeing that is clearly prophetic in nature. And that is, here in Europe, we have discovered, as we have been working on redoing my wife's citizenship here, that the nations here now, under Vatican law, are requiring people to go back to their not their home of birth, but their parents' home of birth. If you remember, in biblical times, under the Roman mandate, this was required of Israel for all the people. And this is why Joseph and Miriam Mary, as you would say in English, went back to Bethlehem, the place of their nativity, in order to register with the government there. This is actually happening here in the rebuilt Roman Empire, and it's very strange because my wife's father, who was a Slovak, born here in Slovakia, but during the war, and the only hospital that was close to their town was only 8 kilometers away, but it was in the Ukrainian border. His mother, though, born here as a Slovak, but ironically, they're forcing people back to their native birth lands. Doesn't really matter who you are, and we're seeing this. Even the fact that the documentation that we had to have from America is called apostolic documents. This is Vatican documents that verify that the Catholic Church is sure of what your documents really are. So your legal documents, such as your birth certificate, etc., really are not legal unless you have an apostle to that, just like it is apostolic, apostle, which is a Vatican-controlled document. Very strange of things that are going on there. Also, one other bit of information here that I found kind of interesting here in the on TASS Russian news here is that Bulgaria has stopped Russia from flying over its airspace to take in humanitarian aid into Syria. So Russia still plans to do these flights anyway, but they said that they will fly around out of Bulgaria's airspace instead, but they intend still to help Bashar Assad's his particular government there in helping bring relief to the people there. You might know, as we've said earlier, and of course there was many people that did not believe this when we first said it, but Russia did admit that they do have military troops that are advisors on the ground in Syria to help Bashar Assad during this fight. Of course, the United States has also attacked the Assad forces as well as Israel, but clearly the problem that Israel has is not so much with the Assad regime, but with the ISIS group that is there and the different jihadists that are in that region there, which of course has been stirred up by the United States, armed, trained, and sent there in order to cause mayhem in the Middle East, which has caused nothing but a crisis, knowing so that they would end up having to leave the country. And they've actually done this. Many of the Arab people from Syria have left the country. And of course, ISIS swore that they would actually infiltrate in these groups here, moving northward into the European Union. Seems like the Vatican wants exactly that to happen. And what's ironic in this is that we have seen that the problems, even though my wife was born here, of course not in the Czech Republic, but born in Slovakia, they want to prevent her from getting her own citizenship, although she was born here. Very interesting how things are happening in this world. They're opening up to all the Arabs, but yet making it harder for the native people themselves. I'm Stephen Ben-Nun. You're watching Israeli News Live. And if you support and believe this particular news broadcast and the ministry here, stand with us in your own support as well. You can go to IsraeliNewsLive.org or IsraelReturns.com. Shalom. God bless you.